Good evening. 590 Americans dead and thousands more wounded and 20,000 more Americans imperiled. And the financial cost, $60 billion, $10 billion a month. And the reaction, more than 70% of us want all of our countrymen rescued by April. And the reported admission Thursday or Friday that of the 18 benchmarks the Iraqi government was supposed to have reached by now, it has missed all 18. Our fifth story in the countdown, all that in the half a year since President Bush addressed the nation to announce his new strategy, his surge in Iraq 6 months ago tonight. And still in the midst of disaster, military, strategic, symbolic, and political. He is undeterred about Iraq and evidently cannot be stopped. Bush chose Cleveland to serve as his backdrop today as he once more tried to sell his strategy to the American people.
Troop levels will be decided by our commanders on the ground, not by political figures in Washington, D.C.
We start a quick truth squatting right there. The president, though he was elected twice, the second time just about 2 years and 8 months ago, has forgotten evidently that he is not just a political figure in Washington, D.C., but the political figure. Oh, and that he has ignored the advice of at least 3 previous commanders in Iraq and then replaced them.
Some in America don't believe we're at war, and that's their right. I know we are.
3,609 American troops have died since the 2003 invasion. 26,695 to date have been wounded. And 62% of the people in the latest USA Today Gallup poll think we made a mistake going into that country. Just who does not think we are at war?
I never wanted to be a war president. Now that I am one, I'm gonna do the best I can to protect America.
He never wanted to be a war president, so he started another war in Iraq, a country that had nothing to do with 9/11. And as to that conflict in Iraq and his strategy for victory that he announced exactly 6 months ago tonight.
And we just started. He got all the troops there a couple of weeks ago.
For those of you scoring at home, that is a new talking point, namely that the policy announced half a year ago tonight only just started last month. Witness Tony Snow on the Today Show.
We are now 2 weeks into having the surge operational. The first thing we want to see is whether it is working. Just a couple of months ago, Congress passed a law, said, okay, we're going to approve of a surge. In July, we want a snapshot at the starting line. We're at the starting line right now, Matt.
The facts, the so-called surge consists of 5 brigades, and while it is indeed true that the last brigade just became operational on the 15th of June, the 1st brigade became operational on the 21st of January, the 2nd at the start of March, the 3rd at the start of April, the 4th at the start of May. So the starting line of this relay was 6 months ago. We are now in the final lap, as Mr. Snow himself acknowledged.
What we're really trying to report on is the new way that started about 6 months ago.
As to what the president thinks of the Democratic plans to introduce some kind of troop withdrawal plan to Congress.
And I believe Congress ought to wait for General Petraeus to come back and give us assessment of the strategy that he's putting in place before they make any decisions.
That would be the same General Petraeus who just told the BBC that while the surge is achieving some progress, quote, really the question is how can we gradually reduce our forces so we reduce the strain on the Army, on the nation, and so forth. Most of the country agreeing with the general. More than 70% want most U.S. troops out by April, according to that Gallup USA Today poll. Just 29% of them actually approve of the president, which might explain a small bout of humility appearing today.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, I felt like we could be in a different position at the end of 2005. I believe we can be in a different position.
So people should believe you now because... oh, wait, I know. Fear.
Failure in Iraq would have serious consequences for the security of your children and your grandchildren.
And in just another coincidence of timing, Homeland Security Secretary Chertoff choosing this of all days to tell the editorial board of the Chicago Tribune newspaper that, quote, I believe we are entering a period this summer of increased risk of a terror attempt in this country. His evidence? None. Summertime, he added, seems to be appealing to them. Plus, Chertoff says he has a gut feeling. Seriously.